Wow, I feel like I look very puffy. Today has kind of been a hard day, which is different than the topic I wanted to talk about in today's video, but the context of how I'm feeling today is that our outside cat, semi-feral cat Wink, something is wrong. His jaw and lower mouth is insanely swollen. He won't let me touch him. We open the door and he just runs, and so he's obviously in pain. He is not really eating. It looks like he's lost weight. He's not really drinking water, and I don't really know what to do because I don't really know how to catch him. Normally he will let me pet him, touch him, so we call him semi-feral, but he is not letting us do that this time, and I am just incredibly worried. And so yeah, it's just been a really rough morning. Yeah, if anything were to happen to that child, it would break me. So send good vibes, and I'm hoping he will let us catch him to try and get him some medical care, but boy am I stressed about it. So that is the context of how I'm feeling today. But I really wanted to talk today about a recent diagnosis I have of a migraine disorder and the kind of migraine story, I guess, journey I've been on. Just feeling like I don't have a lot of options, and so I kind of wanted to crowdsource to talk about my story and see if anybody else has had any relief from migraines, has tried anything that's really helped, because I have very limited options at this point, or at least I've been presented with very limited options. So let's get into that story. To back up in the timeline, over my chronic illness journey, you know, in June it's going to be 14 years that I've had chronic illness, I off and on have had headaches. And these headaches usually come on when I'm really tired or stressed, usually towards the end of the day. So like the more fatigued I get by the end of the day, if I'm overstimulated, overwhelmed, I then get a headache. Tylenol usually helps. A lot of times I have headaches that either start right before bed or while I'm sleeping. And those are really, really tough because I have to take food with Tylenol and sit up for a little bit so that I don't get really sick after taking that Tylenol. If it's like the middle of the night, it just really interrupts my sleep. So it's just frustrating because I'm like, okay, do I want to try getting up now? And a lot of times when I have headaches during the night, which are usually migraines, I get really nauseous. So I'm like, do I want to try to get rid of the headache by taking Tylenol and eating some food, but that could make me a lot more sick, a lot more nauseous. It's a really hard conundrum, especially when you're in bed warm. You're like, oh, I don't really want to get up and go downstairs and eat food with this and then sit up for a while so that you're not laying down right after you've done this. And so those were really rough because they really mess up my sleep, and I will just be laying in bed and my neck, and like usually those are here that affect my sleep, those headaches and migraines, and it'll just be like pulsing, and it's really hard to find a comfortable position, and I lose like a whole night of sleep. Fast forward to last, I want to say August, I was on 20 days of prednisone, and after I came off of those 20 days of prednisone, I started having just daily headaches. So my doctor recommended I see a headache specialist, which I couldn't get in until January. And then before that, they called me and said, oh, we need to reschedule. It was like the beginning of January. They were like, oh, we need to reschedule. And then they rescheduled for a month out. So it had taken me months to get in to be seen. And during that time, I was on cephalexin for 6 weeks, which is the antibiotic that really gives me symptom improvement, and we don't know why. And my headache got a lot better on the cephalexin. Then when I went off the 6 weeks of the cephalexin, my headaches came back again, really bad. And then in January of this year, I had shingles. Wow, crazy. And when I had shingles, one of my main symptoms was a migraine. Just every day, so light and sound sensitive. It was really, really bad. And so I started taking 4 Tylenol a day, 2 in the morning, 2 at night, to try dampening it, and it helped so much. And I've done that up until now. And last week I saw a migraine specialist at 7 a.m. in the morning, 7 a.m. And when they rescheduled the appointment, they didn't tell me that they were moving it from a closer location to a farther away location. So the night before, I'm looking at the thing being like, oh my God, this is not where I thought it was. And it's even further away. So it was just a rough day because I had to get up at like 5 something. And that was also a day I had to do a 24-hour urine collection. So then I was really stressed about having to go out and not pee while I was out because I had to collect all my urine. And then the next morning, the first urine of that day's collection is void. You don't collect that. But the next morning, your 24-hour collection stops at the first voided one from the day before. So I had to wake up the next day at 5:30 in the morning to pee again. Just a nightmare. Anyway, that's a whole other story though, but that was like really stressful too. So it was just a rough day. But whenever I get up really early, I have a hard time sleeping. I toss and turn like all night. I woke up at like 1 a.m. that night being like, oh, I'm like, it should be about time. Like we should be getting up. It's dark out. It's gonna be dark out when I have to get up. No. So I basically just lost that night of sleep. Anyway, so we went in to see this headache specialist and she said, you know, your symptoms are a migraine disorder. It's not a chronic migraine disorder yet. You have to have had a migraine every day for 3 months, but it is a migraine disorder and migraines are different from headaches, which I have both of, yay. And of course, migraine disorders are one of the 20 most painful conditions in the world. And so is shingles. Like I just feel like I'm collecting them, like endometriosis. Like I just have so many of them. And it's getting to the point where I'm really tired of it, you know? So anyway, she was like, there is no cure for migraine disorders or just migraines. There is only symptom management. And because I'm so sensitive to medications, ow, because I'm so sensitive to medications, she said that kind of would be like a last resort. And she laid out 3 options at this point. She said, 1, there are devices that you can use. One device went on your head, like right here, but it sticks on your head and then it vibrates. And I said, you know, I have an allergy to adhesive. I get hives after having like a Band-Aid on for like a minute. Like, I don't think I could leave this sticky adhesive thing on my head for like 45 minutes. I think I would have massive hives, and you're supposed to do it daily when you're having a flare. And I'm like, I can't do that. So she was like, okay, there's this one that goes on your arm and it vibrates. It feels like a TENS unit, but it works differently than a TENS unit. And I was like, okay, I'll try that. She said, you know, it should be covered by insurance. It was not covered by my insurance, unfortunately. And it was like $89 for like 18 sessions. So I was like, okay, well, I'll try that. So that was option 1. Option 2 was to take magnesium glycinate, which has really hurt my stomach in the past because I'm so sensitive to things, and riboflavin, which is I think B2, and maybe CoQ10. I kind of immediately was like, no, because I reacted to magnesium in the past. However, we're going to come back to that because option 1 is no longer an option for me. So I kind of was like, I'm not really super interested in that. I think I'll still stick with trying the, you know, arm thing. And then option 3 was doing nerve blockers. A lot of my headaches are here or here in the temples. So she said they can actually shoot you up with like lidocaine and other stuff into your nerves and it will potentially block the pain. I don't love that idea. I'm really sensitive to stuff. So I think injecting me with something that I could react to potentially, not super enthused about that idea either. But she was really concerned that like I have had this headache since the shingles, and she said you have to get off Tylenol. So I've been on 4 Tylenol a day for like more than a month. She said out of all the over-the-counter meds, Tylenol is the best, but you need to get off of Tylenol because you will start to have breakthrough headaches. And last week, I was having migraines every day again. And I was like, what is happening? And I guess that's why, because I guess I was having breakthrough migraines. And so she really wants me to come off of those Tylenol, which I'm like, it just really sucks. It's frustrating. It's scary because I am so debilitated by these headaches when I have them. I have one today, or I guess a migraine. I just have always called them headaches, but some of them are migraines, and this is a migraine where I'm light and sound sensitive. It's hard for me to keep my eyes open. The more I talk, the worse it gets. And it's like really debilitating. Like you really can't do pretty much anything. Like if talking makes it worse, you can't talk. If looking at a screen and light makes it worse, you don't want to do that. Like it's so limiting. Like what can you do? You know? And so it was really frustrating to hear that I was gonna have to come off of the Tylenol. And these were the 3 options that could help. Like nothing else like replaces the Tylenol. It was just these 3 options. So let's go back to option 1. So I got a call from this company because she had to send a prescription in for this device on my arm. As they were talking to me on the phone, they were like, oh, so the way that you get refills is we send you the first package of the device, which includes the device itself. You never send the device back. You just get to keep the device. And then the refills are these stickers that attach to the device. And I was like, oh, I was told that this didn't have a sticker. I'm allergic to adhesive. She was like, oh. which it makes sense that there would have to be something to like conduct the electricity. But I was like, I just was flabbergasted that the doctor didn't know that, unfortunately. And so I was like, I'm gonna need to think about this. And it wasn't covered by insurance. If it was covered by insurance, I might try it, but I don't have just $89 lying around to try it once, have a reaction, and then never be able to use it again and have spent $89 on probably not even a full treatment, because I probably would start reacting to it before then. And there's only, she said, only about 60% of her patients even have a positive reaction to it. So it's not even like a really super high percentage and like guaranteed to make me feel better. So option one feels like it's off the table. It would just be swapping one problem for another of having these horrible hives. Because when I go and get my blood drawn, they don't even put a band-aid on me anymore. They put on normally the tape, which is supposed to have less adhesive. So there'll be like a little cotton thing and then tape. And they say leave that on 10 to 20 minutes. People say different amounts of time. So I'll leave it on 10 to 20 minutes and I'll take it off and I will have hives on my arm, itchy hives for days. And I just do not think that that is a good option, because it's even a bigger patch. It's like a pretty big patch that you would have to every day for 45 minutes or preventatively every other day. And I just don't feel like that's an option for me. So I've gone back to option two, which is the magnesium glycinate, the Ch.410, and the riboflavin. I don't know if I have any of that right now, so I might have to go get some, but I think I'm just gonna have to try that and see what my reactions are to it right now at this time. And can I handle, like, I think magnesium glycinate has upset my stomach in the past. Can I handle the stomach upset if it does help my headaches? I just don't feel like nerve blockers right now. That feels like a last resort. That really scares me, makes me feel really nervous. And so that's the current situation. And so I am kind of trying to get ideas of what else has helped people with their migraines. I know everybody's situation is going to be different, but I'm feeling pretty desperate and open to trying so many out of the box things. Like, we brought up light therapy because I've heard that like green light can really help with migraines. I don't have a green light device, so I'd have to go buy one. But she was like, oh, well, that usually only helps people who are like so light sensitive that they come in wearing sunglasses. And I was like, I can't wear sunglasses because it pushes on my temples and then that triggers a headache. So I might be that light sensitive, I just can't physically wear sunglasses or a hat. Sometimes I can wear a hat, but sometimes a hat will trigger a headache too. So it just feels like there's a lot of dead ends here, and I don't feel like I have a lot of options, and it's very frustrating and scary because I have to go off the Tylenol. I'm still on it right now, but I'm like, how am I gonna survive without this Tylenol and be in so much pain and have these daily headaches continue? Like, I feel really stressed out with what to do. I don't know what to do. So if you have ever had headaches, migraine disorders, chronic migraines, if you've ever found anything that has helped you, please let me know. Please comment below, message me on social media, because I don't know what to do right now. And it just feels like it's getting more debilitating because I've just been having breakthrough migraines every day that are just getting worse, and that makes me want to go off the Tylenol less, but I just don't know what to do. So please let me know your thoughts, and I will keep you all updated, especially on the Wink situation. I am so incredibly stressed about that, and I don't know what to do for my son, and he is like my soul cat. I will do anything for that child. So anyway, that is the update, my friends. Thank you for being here. Lots of other health updates to get you all updated on as well. So stay tuned, and I will talk to y'all soon, friends. Bye.